Right.
interviewing
So
you. But
in that case, that's fine. I just really need your word that that's what it would be used for, and then you would destroy the tape or whatever. It just it puts me in a bit of a situation since I'm at the very upper level of the union.
of course,
On the executive board and all of that.
of course. No, and this is just really going to be used for a research paper for my course, and if I ever was going to use it for anything outside of that, I would definitely get in touch with you. And it's not really going to be. I mean, basically, I'm on your side. I'm a union person anyway, so I'm not trying to get anything that I'm going to use against you by any means at all. So.
Right. Well, I don't think it would maybe be on purpose. But it's just like I don't. The recording can't be distributed, is what I'm trying to say.
Oh no, absolutely not. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Like I don't want to play it in your class or any of that.
No. Yeah, I got you. So you only have about a half hour, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just I'll don't want to be rude, but I'll just cut to the get started and ask you. So I read the article by Kyle Harris in Shareable. He did an interview with you. You know which one I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm. That was a long time ago. But yeah.
Yeah, so I kind of have that basic background, but one of the first thing I was wondering about is just if you can talk about how you actually got connected with the drivers and how it turned into becoming that you were supporting them as doing a co-op.
Okay, so when I was in the local in Denver, right?
Mm-hmm, right.
I was a local president,
right?
But I met the drivers before that. But anyway, my president does not have a driver's license because of his vision. So he would take taxis all the time, all right, because he didn't drive.
Okay.
And he started talking to the drivers and hearing about how mistreated they are, language barriers, discrimination, just really taking advantage of them,
mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they thought of trying to organize them. Well, they're independent contractors, obviously,
mm-hmm.
and so it just basically fell to the wayside. But they started an association called Pro Taxi,
mm-hmm.
and they rented a little office in our local.
Okay. So this was just like a personal connection, really, more than anything about union strategy.
Yeah, that's all the drivers. We got to know the drivers. We got to know their situation, and then if we could help them with any of their pro taxi stuff, we would try. But they didn't have any power.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then there was another president, and then she started looking at legislation.
Mm-hmm.
To help them start their own company.
Mm-hmm.
All right? Because the regulations were so tight, it was basically a regulated monopoly.
Right.
There was 3 taxi companies, and, that was it. So we ran a bipartisan bill, using regulated competition instead of regulated monopoly.
Mm-hmm.
And we were successful in getting that passed. They joined forces basically with the union. This was under Union Taxi, the first one.
Mm-hmm.
They joined CWA, and our main duty for them was legislative because that's how this all was going to happen, right? We also dealt with issues at the airport, like discrimination, things like that. Just I'm having trouble with my words. The atmosphere of the holding lot, the tables were broken down and the facilities might not have been good enough, or
mm-hmm.
things
mm-hmm.
like that. So
the
we
conditions.
dealt with that, and we were really successful in helping them. It took 5 years or a little bit more to get Union Taxi actually up and running and open their doors and doing business.
Wow.
And their dispatch center and their location was out of the basement of our local. And with our local a good while. I'm thinking it was probably 2015, so maybe 7 years.
Wow.
And they decided they got enough money to buy their own building.
Wow.
Union Taxi.
So they did well. They did well.
They did very well, and they're still doing well as far as I know. But as soon as they got their own building, you know, basically between you and I, what they needed us for was over. Right?
Right.
And so they didn't really have to desert because we never had a collective bargaining agreement. That was one mistake that we made. We tried to get a collective bargaining agreement, but at that time the board changed every year, and by the time the board of Union Taxi would get their feet on the ground, it was almost time for another election, and they kept pushing us off. So we would fight their fights legislatively and try to do a little marketing and all that. There's never been any financial transactions that we helped them financial. They raised all their own money. The actual co-op participants raised their own money for both Green Taxi and Union Taxi. So here we come down, you know, a few years later.
So just one question real quick. With it, all the money they raised was just from the drivers themselves?
Yep. So what they did was, at the beginning, and we did the same thing, we just duplicated this for the Green Taxi.
Right.
They did $500 commitment. They called it commitment payments. Okay, so each driver had to come up with $500 to keep their name on the list for the co-op. They also drafted some initial bylaws to a co-op attorney, and that's where the CWA came in when we were partners in the bylaws that in order to be in the co-op, you needed to be a member of the union. Okay?
So you guys you paid for the lawyer?
I'm sorry?
The CWA paid for the lawyer, or they paid for it?
No, they paid. We kept everything business versus union separate.
Okay.
Now our attorney helped. I think our CWA attorney helped them draft the original bylaws, but not the co-op bylaws. Just like at the very beginning, like the agreement between CWA and the drivers.
Got it.
And then they actually found a co-op attorney to help them when they put together the bylaws for Union Taxi.
And how did you come up with the idea for a co-op?
Actually, the drivers came up with an idea for a co-op, but because there was a co-op, I think in the 70s in Colorado. But the drivers were the ones that wanted to have the feel of owning their own business.
Okay.
Right? And also having one worker, one vote, basically. Right?
Right.
So, and then we, you know, through the relationship we had and the help we were giving them, educated them that it would be smarter for them to be a unionized co-op and not just a co-op, given the power that CWA has legislatively and for coalition partners and that sort of thing.
So
during this whole time, the PUC, which is our regulatory agency in Colorado, allowed 262 drivers or cars for Union Taxi. That's how we got in. And so there was 262 drivers, 262 union members, 262 co-op members. And as soon as we got through that legislative year, the bigger taxi companies came back and changed the law back to the way it was before. So no one else could get in. Okay. Again, they changed what we had changed. They basically put it back to the way it was before. So Union Taxi was in, but they were trying to protect their own, interests and keep more taxi companies from coming into the market. So, Abdi, which you noted here, Abdi Booney is like really the catalyst of everything. He kept coming to me. I was now president of the local, and he kept coming to me saying the drivers, wanted do this again. They want there's new drivers, they want, or, the existing drivers that work for the other companies, they want to start their own co-op. And it was just like, only, how much work I had to do, regular work, kept me from doing anything. But he kept on it. He was very persistent. So he said, all I want you to do is write a letter, saying we are here for you if you want to try this again, with opening another taxi company, and we'll do a little organizing drive. And we organized over 800 people in about 6 weeks.
Wow. And
it was really invigorating, and it was really a great thing.
Yeah, incredible.
So, we would meet at a local high school, and we had to elect a temporary board of directors that would, help decipher information and kind of help run the beginning until we got formalized. And they again asked for $500 commitment money for every person. They needed to be a member of CWA. And we drafted a law. So we drafted some legislation to try to go back to the legislators. Well, during this whole time, that's when Uber and Lyft and all of them started coming in. But that was kind of another reason why Union Taxi severed the relationship with us, because they had the impression that we would be able to completely keep them out. And it was almost impossible. They were buying off the legislators, basically,
So
contributions to their campaigns. And we did get a lot of rules instilled in Colorado against Uber and Lyft that would have to be more closely aligned with what the taxi drivers and taxi companies have to do, as in background checks and that type of thing.
Right.
But we couldn't keep them out.
So
it has hurt the taxis a lot.
So you're saying that's part of why Union Taxi severed relationship, because they felt like...
I do, because they had this idea in their head that we would be able to keep them completely out of Colorado. But it didn't.
Right.
We tried, right? But
right, got it.
They ruled how they ruled. But we took advantage of the point that they were doing these deals with transportation carriers, or whatever they used to call them. I forget that term.
Transportation.
Okay, we want to change the law again and basically make it an open market. If you're not going to have requirements for them, we want to open up the taxi regulations.
Right.
And we want to, as long as you can prove financial fitness, managerial fitness, and the basics under the law, then you can't be kept out.
Right.
And we really had them over a barrel, because they were allowing Uber and Lyft and everybody and their brother in, right?
Yep.
So we were successful in passing that, and that's how Green Taxi came about.
So would you say it was Green Taxi was more in response to Uber and Lyft than just the big cab companies, or
No.
it was?
No, Green Taxi wasn't in response to Uber and Lyft. It was just the timing of our legislation was good for them, because the legislators were already, quote, bending the rules, if you may, or classifying Uber and Lyft as something different than a taxi. Right, business.
Right. Which is a big problem right there, right?
Yeah, which is a huge problem. So we kind of had them at the right time. It's like, well, how can you let these guys in and call them something different? But you still want to keep the same regulations for taxis.
Right.
You're talking competition. That's what we're saying. That's what we want. So what drove them to want to do this was, again, the amount of the lease rates that they were paying the companies, the existing companies. The idea that they would be their own boss. The idea that they would own part of a business. And of course the idea that they would be able to sell their spot. So when Union Taxi came about, again, I mean, that was a small 262 driver business.
Right.
Some of those people sold their spots for a lot of money. Because there wasn't a, supply and demand, right? There was the only co-op in town, and the guys were making money, not having to pay these giant lease rates, and they were getting treated right, and all those things.
And they were renting out their own. They don't call them medallions, right? They call them just something else there.
Yeah, we don't have medallions. We get granted authority by the PUC, which is the Public Utilities Commission.
Right.
So you get granted, that's what they call it, a grant authority, and there's tons of hearings, and there can be appeals, and it's very expensive.
But once they get the individual gets part in the co-op, they have their individual authority that they can then sell to somebody else. Is that correct?
They could. So let me jump back just a little bit. So it ends up with Union Taxi, and I think Green Taxi, but I actually got elected to my national position before the end, and before Green Taxi opened its doors for business. Okay, we had the legislation and we had everything going, but they hadn't gone onto the street yet. So that part, anything on that piece, Opti may have to talk to you about that.
Got it.
But for Union Taxi, and I believe Green Taxi too, it ended up being a $2,000 commitment.
$2,000
total money that it cost them to get into business. Okay.
So it was 500. 500 originally.
262, they had however much money. With 800 people, they had a lot of money. Right?
Yeah.
So they paid for attorneys to represent them at the PUC. They paid for co-op attorneys, all the things they would need to pay for to start their business. The dispatch system, the computers, all of that came out of that money. So yes, that individual driver or co-op owner, I'm going to use Union Taxi, could sell his spot. There were some rules, obviously, like the driver had to have a driver's license, right? He had to have a green card to work here or whatever, right? I mean, you had to be approved by the board of directors.
Sure.
To make sure that you were allowed to drive a taxi and you passed your background check and you had a car that would be within the specifications and the laws that you needed.
Got it.
All of that stuff. But then they could sell their spot. And some of them sold their spot for a lot of money. I don't know really honestly how much they sold their spots for, but I was hearing that some people were getting $40,000 for their spot.
Oh my God! Wow.
Almost like they were selling medallions then, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't. They were just selling their spot in the co-op.
Wow.
So right before I left, that was June of 2015. We had already passed the legislation. They were getting ready to, start looking at their dispatch center and an app to be like Uber, kind of, where you could see your taxi.
Right.
They had decided on their name and, all of those types of things.
Right.
So what's happening right now is, which Opti would be way better to speak to this, is the flood of people that came in to start buying these spots and to get in, were people, a lot of them were thinking they would be able to turn around and sell their spot.
Yeah.
Right? Because they weren't really thinking that they're going to drive a taxi, because they might already be in Union Taxi, or they might have a restaurant, right?
Yeah.
Or they didn't want to miss out on this opportunity.
Yeah.
So I know that there is not 800 drivers at this time, but I don't have any idea how many there are. I'm thinking around 300 people are actually driving. So that was another learning experience, that was really disappointing to me.
Yeah.
Because I thought I was going to be helping 800 people have their own business. But one thing that we did learn, like I said before, is we had to have a collective bargaining agreement,
Mm-hmm.
that spells out the grievance procedure and the term of, how long the CBA is going to be and how their relationship is with us. So that we got done
Mm-hmm.
this time. But I just don't know, now that I've been gone almost 2 years, and I'm so busy that I don't get to talk to UPTE nearly as much as I want to.
Mm-hmm.
But they are operating. I see green taxis when I'm in Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Because I still have a house, and my husband and my kids are still in Denver.
Oh my
and
God!
I have a
Wow.
house out here.
Wow. So
In
you
DC.
you went to national just because you were elected to move up to the national. It had nothing to do with the all the.
Co-ops? No, it had nothing to do with co-ops. Someone was retiring out of the telecommunications department.
Uh-huh.
And I was a national vice president. And so I said, shit, I'm going to run. And never thought I could ever win. Because, one, I never even went to the district office.
Wow, wow.
But I did win. And
Yeah.
I won in a three-way race. I got more than 50%.
Wow.
I'm the first woman. And,
Congratulations.
yeah, thanks. It's really very cool.
Uh-huh.
So do you know someone, about one worker, one vote, and how into the co-op movement are you? Do you know of Mondragon?
Yeah,
and
yes.
all that?
I know some of the basic stuff about that. I've read up on all the movement in this country, especially. They've had these conferences in New York and what's his name at Shriner? No. There's two guys that are sort of leading the movement in this country for trying to help build these around the country. But
right. Well, Michael Peck is one of the person that I really know from Mondragon USA. He's out here in DC.
Oh, okay.
But there's a co-op, there's a union co-op, basically like coalition or board in Cincinnati. There's a couple in Ohio, and then there's a group that has a conference call every month that I could hook you up with too. I haven't been on in several months because of my workload, but Mary Hoyer is her name. She kind of leads the conference call.
Mary who?
Mary Hoyer.
Hoyer.
Hoyer. Have you heard of her?
No, I haven't. Where is she from?
I don't know where she is. Let me look and see if.
And you said Michael. What was the?
Michael Pick.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he's from Mondragon.
Works here. Works in DC.
Okay. And they are trying to set up co-ops in all different industries, or specifically in
all different industries,
Mm-hmm.
and union co-ops.
Mm-hmm. Specifically,
that's
okay.
I mean, the big push like in my area, right?
Uh-huh.
There's co-op movement, of course, in this country.
You're right.
And then there's a lot smaller union co-op movement. And
Right.
The steel workers actually were the ones to first take this on. And their president, Leo Gillard, just, saw that this could be outside the box type of, new union organizing and things like that.
Yeah.
So they kind of I feel like they were the beginning of all of the union co-op movement kind of here.
Mm-hmm.
But there's like these lobstermen that have a union co-op. The AFL did a presentation on all union co-ops, and the steelworkers were there, and Cincinnati was there. And I could definitely hook you up with some people if you wanted to talk with them and
Yeah.
information from them.
Yeah, I would be interested. If you can give me names, and maybe you could just email me, names and contact information.
Yeah.
That would be great. Okay.
I can do that. So I don't know if I was specific enough about all of your questions. So if you have other questions for me, that would be.
Yeah, sure.
Fine.
So basically, the goal from just the the union point of view for you in the first place, you were helping out, first Pro Taxi and then Green Taxi, but they were members, but they're not. They're paying dues, but
they're like associate members. They do not have a collective bargaining agreement.
Okay.
We had like a relationship basically, and they were voluntarily paying dues to be a part of CWA without a collective bargaining agreement. Some unions call them associate members, or something like that. But our goal was always to have a collective bargaining agreement, and I think if we would have, it would have helped them see that there was more than just like the legislative piece of what we could do for them. Because, it's all good to say, and this is a perfect example of these taxi companies. It's all well and good to say one worker, one vote, but then let's just take Union Taxi. There's, 262 guys. I don't think there was any women, and most of them were African immigrants. They were from 14 countries. Within the 14 countries, there was something like 32 tribes.
Wow.
So, if I'm just throwing this out, I don't remember exactly which one. I think it was Ethiopian, but let's say there's mostly Ethiopians from this tribe. Well, then they can really vote, put all their votes together. And so it kind of doesn't come out to be one worker, one vote anymore. Yeah, you do have that, but it's still being manipulated in some sort of way, right? So the union is the vehicle to make sure that like the personnel matters get taken care of or are more fair. We have more contacts in benefits, right? Health insurance, those types of things. We're good at problem solving. We can help them with a grievance procedure that would work on issues that come up. We're good at scheduling. We're good at mobilization. We're good at, all the things that unions are good at.
And you wanted to convince them.
To them beginning their business. While they're worrying about business stuff, we can worry about the people stuff.
Right.
So that's really the take on why it should be a union co-op versus just a co-op.
Sure. And you feel like with Green Taxi, as far as you know, it's more possible that it'll be successful and continuing to be union.
Yes, I really do, because we learned a lot through that. One of the things that I think we didn't do as good as we should have done or could have done was educate the drivers on what unions do. Because most of our time was spent at the state capitol.
Right.
Dealing with whatever was going on at that time. Or we would be at the airport dealing with whatever was going on. Like dealing with issues versus, or at the same time, educating them as to why they're union, what it means, our history, that kind of thing. We should have done a better job at that. And I feel that this time around, the local understands that. I'm not there, but I believe that we just saw, live and learn, and, it only took us about like 11 months or something to get this completely from start to finish through the legislature versus last time was 5 years.
Yeah.
So we definitely knew what we were doing more this time, right?
Right, for sure. So are you taking that to other to the national, to other unions, and is that something that's, you mentioned that the AFL-CIO and other unions, steel workers and all are definitely interested in all this, but does you feel like it's growing in both CWA and at the national level too?
I think CWA is it's not growing as I would like to see it. I haven't quite convinced people that this is like a viable thing that we need to stay involved with. Yeah, it's smaller, like you're going to have smaller units, but you don't have the anti-union campaigns, right? You don't have really like the NLRB stuff. You would certify an election, obviously, right?
Right.
But I mean, just a lot of the hurdles that you have in the private sector, you don't have to have if someone wants you to be there.
Right.
Versus, you fighting to get in.
Right.
And then getting a first contract and all those things. And also, I mean, you've got to look at the types of businesses that co-ops lend themselves to. Like, a lot of them are grocery co-ops. So I think the UFCW would maybe have like more opportunities in a way to utilize this model.
Right. Yeah, I've heard about that actually.
Yeah. So there's like laundry facilities. There's like greenhouses. There's the grocery market areas, right? Stuff like that.
Right.
That I think are up and running right now throughout the country.
Yeah. It seems like that it would be a good strategy to deal with the this new sharing economy stuff. Is obviously Uber and Lyft and all the taxi stuff, but even some of these other ones, TaskRabbit and those kind of about them that are all kind of starting up on with these apps, and seems like it's an open market for just getting the worst conditions for the workers, and if the unions could be involved in that and helping set up co-ops as alternatives, it seems like it would be a great thing to do. I just wasn't sure how much that's being discussed at the top of union levels, and
well, I know that like when we were trying to do this in Denver, and we had a very conservative attorney, very conservative, not out there wild protesting type of attorney, right? He was really always making the safe road. He couldn't stress to us enough how we had to keep separate the business versus our act as our role as a representative. So we were just super, super careful.
Yeah.
Now, I think that there are unions that either loan or do something to help these different co-ops maybe get off the ground. But what I learned through some of these co-op boards and things like that is they have certain banks that will help them fund, startup co-ops. They have they utilize universities and colleges to help them set up their business plans. Right? Like they find resources that are either going to be free or at a discounted rate to help people get what they want. So also, I heard last year that now co-ops got added to small business administration loans. That was something that wasn't in the small business administration. That wasn't a category. Now, I never verified that, but I was really happy because it really is a small business.
Right.
So I know that in those, areas, we are making movement. The movement is slow, but, it's a new idea, and it's different for people, and it takes a long time to get a new idea, right? Wrap people wrap their heads around it.
Yeah. So, I mean, in kind of looking back on it, or even looking now at the green taxi experience, you think that the drivers are seeing the union and the co-op as sort of a better alternative, and are they more aware of the union's role in positive ways?
I believe they are. I believe we did a much better job, and I believe that they understand that like being together, like the solidarity of a union, whether it's called a union or if it's even something different.
Mhm.
Power in numbers, collective,
Mhm.
collective power, that type of thing.
Yeah.
I really believe that they get that and they understand that, and we just need to make sure that we're continually educating them on what we do. Like, just take an example of, I know that at the beginning, like we had a large local of about 4,000 people, and we had like 11 different contracts.
Mhm.
Okay,
Right.
so we had phone companies, and we had printers, and we had, you name it, taxi
Right.
drivers, and Denver Public Schools custodians,
Mhm.
and it was hard, I think, for them to understand, like, their $20, let's say, right,
Mhm.
doesn't go in a pot for the taxi driver
Mhm.
problems.
Mhm.
Like, we might spend $60 this month on you guys, and you only pay 20.
Mhm.
But next month we don't spend anything, and we have a fight at the Denver Public Schools, and that's what we do, right? That
Sure.
was a little bit hard, I think, for them, at least in my own opinion,
Mhm.
understanding, like, what are you doing? Like, a lot of members are like that, though, right? What do
Sure.
you do with my money?
Of course.
Right?
Of course. Yeah.
So it's not a new issue that union members have, but they definitely had it, and they didn't really understand that, there could be months and months and months that you don't bring any issues to us.
Mhm.
So, yeah, we need your money for all these other fights that we have right now.
Right. Right.
So,
So
but
I
it
mean.
was really, really devastating for me when Union Taxi decided to leave. But a
Yeah.
lot of people said that they would leave as soon as they got their company. So I guess a 7-year relationship and everything that we learned from them was definitely worth it. And we helped, 262 drivers and their families have a better life, and
Mhm.
and they continue to have a better life now. So it was a great story and a great success, and I wish the relationship was still going on.
Right. But in a way, Green Taxi is a better alternative from the union point of view, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I think they're reaping the benefits more, and we are too, because we learned and we understood what we need to do, and it's more of a formal relationship, I think, now.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So I don't want to take more of your time, but could
I'm still doing okay if you have a couple more questions.
Oh, good. Okay. So, and in terms of this, the app, the to compete with the Uber and Lyft, was something that just came about with the Green Taxi, not with the Union Taxi. Is that right?
I think that finally Union Taxi has an app too. I don't know. I'm not really mad at them. We don't really have anything to do with them now.
Sure. Yeah. So, you think that they're able? Let's just stick with Green Taxi. Are they able to compete with Uber and Lyft at this point? Are they? Is it still kind of an unfair?
I think that probably you would want to talk to Opti.
Uh-huh.
I still think it's totally unfair playing field.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can go in the airport at least everywhere I go anymore.
Right.
I see them going up in the airport, not where the ground transportation is, more like a personal car.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't have to have the licensing, the exact same licensing. They just weren't under like any of these regulations at all.
Right. Yeah, I don't understand how they get away with that.
They were more self-regulated through Uber instead of a third-party entity like the government regulating them.
Right. Right.
So,
yeah. So,
I think it's tough.
yeah.
I really do. And I think that, like any business, when you are a monopoly,
Mm-hmm.
you don't, it's like the phone companies. I mean, that's where I worked for 35 years.
Mm-hmm.
You think there's never going to be a new game in town, and, all of a sudden there's cell phones, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, or whatever it is. It's like, you can't be grumpy and have a nasty car and, treat people like crap or whatever. Like, here comes this new idea with this new technology, and the cars are nice, and the guys are dressed nice, and they have a bottle of water, and no money switches hands, and
Right.
it's just a good idea,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, they snowed everybody as to they're not a taxi company; they're just really like a dispatcher, which is not true, but
Right.
I think it forces the taxi companies to up their game in customer service. And,
Sure. That's good.
That's really what I hope that they're learning from all of it is you can compete. The problem is that the taxi fares are regulated and the Uber fares are on surge pricing, and that's totally not right.
Right.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a lot of issues where Uber and Lyft drivers are wanting to join unions.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I'm most kind of curious about because, and that's part of what I'm researching too. The experience for the Uber drivers is so. It seems like the big advantage for the people, the drivers who chose to do the co-op, and is just that they have better conditions. But in terms of their the pay and all, but it's not necessarily that easy to compete with the Uber people because they're at they're getting paid so little, and they don't have any of the regulations at the same time.
The good piece about this, I mean, depending on how busy they are, for sure, the taxi drivers. But for an example, when we started this whole thing, it was $125 a day that you had to pay the taxi companies, like Yellow Cab,
right?
Okay, to lease the taxi.
Right.
So, very few people understand, including me, how you start in the hole, $125, and you have to make $125 so you get to zero, right?
Right. It's crazy.
And whether your taxi is working or in the shop or whatever, you're still going to have to pay that.
Mm-hmm.
So just in that fact alone, my drivers were making a lot more money, almost instantly as soon as they got on the road. Their initial co-op fee was something like $368 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then it started to get more because the insurance and different things. But, what they were paying in let's say, less than a week was their whole month's lease fee now.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were bringing home basically 2/3 more money than they were. So that gave them less drive time, more time with their family, more spending money, all of that. That was huge.
Right.
And then, of course, again, supply and demand. Then the taxi companies started flipping out in Denver, and so they started lowering their lease rates,
Mm-hmm.
not by a lot, but some,
Mm-hmm.
so that the drivers weren't fleeing,
Right.
somewhere else.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know. I still am really. I'm actually very anti-Uber and anti-Lyft. I'm not against the drivers at all.
Of course.
I'm against all the people making millions of dollars.
That's what started me on this whole project. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. No,
It's just how really the drivers are in the middle. You get a bad review and they'll just turn off your iPhone and you're just screwed. There's no let me tell you what happened or
Right. Well,
anything.
Right. So that's why I'm kind of wondering if the unions couldn't do more, kind of on a larger scale of what you guys did in Denver to organize against Uber and create some co-ops for people, the drivers all over, because it seems like it's almost the Uber drivers are waiting for it to happen. In some places,
right.
It's happening. By what?
It is true. I mean, it is really true, and me personally cannot take that on.
Of course.
But
no, that's why I'm wondering what you know about what else is happening in that.
I know that there's a big taxi alliance out of New York, out of the AFL-CIO.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if any Uber drivers are there, but a lot of times the taxi drivers also drive for Uber and Lyft.
Sure.
I have seen lawsuits against about independent contractor overtime and all that kind of stuff.
Sure.
but I don't really have any other earth-breaking, earth-shattering news on
Okay.
them right now.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of out of the loop.
Yeah. Okay, well, I guess just the last question would be, do you have Abdi's phone number or email?
I do have Opti's phone number. Hold on just a second. I'm going to give it to you, and please tell him. And I know he's really busy, so if you don't get him,
Yeah.
give it a little while, and then let me know,
Okay.
and I'll see if I can break him away, because he's the president of Green Taxi now, too.
Right.
So I know he's super busy, but his number is 720
Uh-huh.
422
Mm-hmm.
5004.
5004. Okay, and
And tell him that Lisa Bolton
of
gave
course.
you his number, and if you could just give him a chat,
Of
give
course.
him a call, give you a call,
Sure.
we would appreciate it.
Sure, thank you. And
I hope I did an okay job for you. I
No, you
kind of
did.
felt scattered a little bit, but I haven't had to think about this for a while.
no, it was great. I really super appreciate it. And so is this number the best way to contact Abdi? As not email or anything?
Let me see. I don't even know what is. Let me see.
I
I
mean-
have old email.
Probably.
You could try this email, but I'm not really sure if they still have it up.
Mhm.
I'm guessing they would, but it's A, like Opti,
Mhm.
A, Booney, B-U-N-I,
Mm-hmm.
at
Mm-hmm.
CWA 7777, that's
Mm.
4 sevens,
Right.
.org.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll try calling him first, but just I thought in case.
Yeah, either way, you might want to introduce yourself via email.
Mm-hmm.
And then do you want me to send you Mary Hoyer and Michael Peck's information?
That would be great if you could do that. I'd really appreciate that. And
Okay.
so, and Michael Peck is at Mondragon, USA, and Mary Hoyer is at where? Or just
Really, let me just pull her up real fast
Okay.
again and see what her. Hold on. You might want to get on one of them monthly conference calls.
okay.
I don't think they would care. Mary Hoyer is Worker Co-op, New York City.
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, wait, no. That's some kind of scholarship. Knowledge doesn't use co-ops. Let's see. Mary Hoyer. Co-chair. This is way better.
Uh-huh.
Co-chair, Council of USFWC. USFWC. Amherst, ME.
Oh, okay.
See?
USFWC.
US, F like Frank,
Mhm.
WC.
Do you know what that stands for?
No.
Okay. That's fine.
That's why I was like, oh, UFCW, but no, it's not.
Yeah.
It's US.
Okay.
FWC. It still might be something with food, but I don't
Mhm.
know.
Okay.
Also,
I'll check it out. Okay.
yeah, interesting.
Okay. Yeah. So if you can email me there the contact information, that'd be wonderful. I would appreciate that.
I will do that.
And Lisa, thank you so much for your
If you
time.
think of anything else, you just let me know, or if you have any really cool stuff to tell me, email me.
Okay, I will do that. All right.
Okay.
Thank you
All right,
again so
I'll
much.
talk to you sometime soon, hopefully.
Okay, appreciate it, Lisa. Bye bye.
Okay, take care.